class, just wanted to take a few minutes to go over the questions on your week 3 written responses assignment. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. So we're covering chapters 4 and 5 in these questions. It is a file submission, so you're going to have to upload something with your answers. Again, just like in previous weeks, the easiest way is to use the Word file that I've attached to the instructions, but do it however has been working for you so far. So we've got a few questions from chapter 4. Question 1 says, think of a time when you argued for a position that was supported by credible evidence, even though doing so angered or alienated a family member, friend, teacher, or employer. Like, you showed them, and again, it's not about winning, but like you pointed out, you provided support for a position using credible evidence, and it made someone angry or alienated them in some way. What was the outcome? Evaluate your response. In particular, discuss how you used or didn't use your critical thinking skills in responding to criticism of your position. Because even if you give credible evidence, sometimes people will come back with some crazy counter arguments. Sometimes it's hard to know how to respond, right? Number 2, imagine that you are backing out of a parking spot on campus. Your view is somewhat obscured by an SUV parked beside you. As you back out, you hit another car that was driving through the parking lot. Write a paragraph describing the event for the police report. As you're backing out slowly, you hit another car driving through the parking lot. You have to write a paragraph describing the event for the police report. After you write that paragraph, then imagine you are the other person whose car was hit. Now you're the person driving through the parking lot, and you get hit by the person backing out. Write a paragraph describing the event for the police report. Right? Now you have both versions. Compare and contrast the two reports. Analyze how the words you chose in each report were selected to influence the perception of the police officer regarding what happened. Question 3. Given that humans are prone to cognitive errors, which we discussed in chapter 4, should we use computers rather than physicians for medical diagnoses? Support your answer. Number 4, which cognitive error are you most likely to commit? Give a specific example of using this error. And number 5, polls before elections can influence how people vote by swaying undecided voters to vote for the candidate who is in the lead. Analyze whether election polls should be forbidden prior to the election itself, given what we learned in chapter 4. Chapter 5 questions. I want you to look for 2 examples of informal fallacies in the media. They can be fallacies of ambiguity, fallacies of relevance, or fallacies involving unwarranted assumptions, or a combination of any of those 2. Your search can include news coverage, magazine articles, advertisements of any sort, political cartoons. And your search can include examples, recent examples or older examples. Right? So if you do a Google search, you can find, magazine ads from 40, 50 years ago, right? But I want you to find 2 examples of informal fallacies in the media. Once you have your 2 choices, you're going to answer questions A and B for each example, right? So you have your first example of a fallacy, of an informal fallacy. The first thing you're going to do is describe it. Tell me what it is, what's going on in it, right? Then I want you to identify which informal fallacy is present in the example and what purpose the writer or creator is hoping to achieve by using that fallacy. And then you'll do the same exact thing for the second example. that you've chosen. All right, number 2. Which fallacy of ambiguity are you most likely to fall for? Give a specific example. Which fallacy of ambiguity are you most likely to use? Give an example. Which fallacy of relevance are you most likely to fall for? Give a specific example. Which fallacy of relevance are you most likely to use? Give an example. And then number 4, which fallacy involving an unwarranted assumption are you most likely to fall for? Give a specific example. And which fallacy involving an unwarranted assumption are you most likely to use? Give an example. And number 5, discuss ways in which being aware of and avoiding fallacies can improve your personal and professional life. Okay? All right, so if you're unclear on any of those questions as you're working on them, don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, just do your best on them and try to have it in by Sunday night.